The Hyundai Elantra. A name that might not have screamed excitement back in the early 90s, but over 3 decades, it transformed from a modest little compact into a global success story, becoming the best-selling Hyundai model in the history of the American market. This is the tale of how an underdog from South Korea conquered the roads of the United States, one model year at a time. It's a story of evolution, of design revolutions, of bold risks, and of a car that refused to settle for good enough. Let's rewind to where it all began. The year was 1991. Grunge was on the radio, VHS tapes lined living room shelves, and the compact car market in America was dominated by names like Corolla, Civic, and Sentra. Enter the Hyundai Elantra, a fresh-faced sedan from a brand most Americans still pronounced Hyundai. At launch, the first-generation Elantra was simple, boxy, and honest. It offered a 1.6-liter engine, later upgraded to a 1.8-liter, and modest styling. The car didn't come to win beauty contests, but it had one key weapon: price. You could get an Elantra with basic necessities for thousands less than its Japanese rivals. Sure, the interior was basic, manual windows, hard plastics, and not much to write home about, but it offered the essentials. And Hyundai's warranty, though not yet famous, was beginning to build trust with buyers looking for value. By the mid-1990s, Hyundai launched the second-generation Elantra, and this was the first sign that they weren't content being the bargain bin option. With more refined styling, sharper lines, and slightly improved proportions, it finally began to look like a real contender. This time, Hyundai even added a station wagon body style, which made the Elantra more versatile for small families. Power came from a 1.8-liter and later a 2.0-liter inline-4 engine that, while not thrilling, was reliable and smooth. Hyundai was slowly improving quality control and investing in better materials. Inside, dual airbags and optional ABS began to appear. The ride was more comfortable, and the Elantra started inching toward the mainstream. Then came the third generation in 2001, and it was a leap forward. The styling softened a bit, giving the Elantra a more approachable, rounded look. But the real magic was inside. Hyundai focused heavily on value, loading this model with features that were rare for its price. You could get power windows, power locks, cruise control, and even optional leather seats. A new 2.0-liter DOHC 4-cylinder engine offered solid performance for the segment, and Hyundai introduced a 5-door hatchback version under the GT badge. This version gained a cult following thanks to its versatility, sporty looks, and surprisingly engaging handling. The 10-year per 100,000-mile powertrain warranty became a key selling point, and consumer confidence in Hyundai began to surge. People were starting to ask, is the Elantra actually good? By 2007, Hyundai launched the 4th generation, and the car began to grow in size and sophistication. It was now one of the roomiest cars in the compact segment, with a back seat that could actually fit adults comfortably. The styling was clean and conservative, with a more upscale silhouette. It felt like Hyundai was deliberately trying to look more mature. The 2.0-liter engine returned, offering around 138 horsepower, and the driving dynamics were smooth and composed. Inside, the dash design improved significantly, with better materials, easier-to-use controls, and more sound insulation. USB and auxiliary inputs were now available, and options like sunroofs and heated seats made it feel like a premium offering in its price bracket. And for those who wanted even more space, the Elantra Touring, a European-style wagon with sportier suspension tuning, joined the lineup later in this generation. It wasn't a volume seller, but it had its fans. But then came a revolution, the 5th generation, launched in 2011. And Hyundai wasn't playing around. This was the era of fluidic sculpture, the brand's bold new design language that gave the Elantra dramatic, sweeping lines, sculpted body panels, and a sleek, coupe-like roofline. Suddenly, the Elantra was the best-looking car in its class. It turned heads. And it won awards, lots of them. In 2012, the Elantra was crowned North American Car of the Year. That was unheard of for a Korean compact just a decade prior. Inside, Hyundai continued its push for premium features. You could get push-button start, a touchscreen infotainment system, backup camera, Bluetooth connectivity, and heated seats in both the front and rear, a luxury feature even some BMWs didn't offer at the time. Under the hood was a 1.8-liter four-cylinder engine making 148 horsepower, mated to either a 6-speed manual or a 6-speed automatic. It wasn't a speed demon, but it was efficient and responsive. Hyundai also brought back the 5-door hatchback in the form of the Elantra GT, based on the European market i30. It had firmer suspension tuning and a sportier attitude. A coupe version was briefly offered, though it never reached the popularity of its sedan sibling. The sixth generation arrived in 2017, and with it, a shift in tone. Hyundai toned down the curvy drama and went for a more sophisticated, angular look. This Elantra was less about bold styling and more about quiet confidence. The grille became larger, the line straighter, and the whole car looked more mature. Inside, Hyundai focused on technology. Base models now came with a touchscreen and smartphone integration. Higher trims got larger displays, navigation, and more premium materials. There were multiple engine options, a 2.0-liter engine in the base models, a turbocharged 1.4-liter in the Eco trim, and a punchy 1.6-liter turbo in the Elantra Sport, which offered 201 horsepower and a multi-link rear suspension. The Sport was a favorite among enthusiasts, providing engaging handling and brisk acceleration, especially when paired with the available manual transmission or 7-speed dual-clutch automatic. Safety tech took a big leap too. Features like automatic emergency braking, lane keep assist, adaptive cruise control, and blind spot monitoring became available or standard across various trims. And then came the 7th generation in 2021. If you thought the 5th generation was bold, this one took things to a whole new level. The new Elantra was a design statement. Angular creases sliced across the body, the front grille expanded into a futuristic geometric pattern, and the rear sported a dramatic full-width LED light bar. It looked like a concept car brought to life. But the changes weren't just skin-deep. Inside, the cabin became more driver-focused, with a wraparound dashboard, digital gauges, and a 10.25-inch infotainment display in higher trims. You could get ambient lighting, wireless smartphone connectivity, and even a digital key that let you use your phone to unlock and start the car. Powertrains were diverse too. There was a fuel-efficient 2.0-liter engine in the base models, a 1.6-liter hybrid system that could achieve over 50 miles per gallon, and the return of a sporty N-line trim with a turbocharged 1.6-liter engine. But for thrill seekers, Hyundai introduced something special, the Elantra N. The Elantra N wasn't just a sporty trim. It was a full-blown performance sedan. Under the hood was a 2.0-liter turbocharged four-cylinder producing a whopping 276 horsepower. It came with an 8-speed dual-clutch transmission, or a 6-speed manual for purists, and features like adaptive suspension, launch control, an electronic limited-slip differential, and even a dedicated end-grin shift button that temporarily increased boost pressure. This was a car that could do a daily commute Monday through Friday and tear up a racetrack on Saturday. It redefined what the Elantra could be and showed the world that Hyundai was no longer just chasing the competition, it was leading in some areas. Today, the Elantra stands as a pillar of Hyundai's global success. It's been a sedan, a hatchback, a wagon, and a coupe. It's gone from cloth seats and cassette decks to digital cockpits and drift modes. It's won awards, broken sales records, and earned a place in garages all across America. Over 3.5 million Elantras have been sold in the US alone, and the nameplate continues to evolve. What started as an inexpensive option for the budget-conscious has become a symbol of how far Hyundai, and the Elantra, have come. From humble beginnings to high-performance thrills, the Elantra's story is still being written.